Hi everyone, it's Andy here. Just going to talk today about the latest news and updates on unemployment benefit extensions. I know it's a closely monitored topic, and thankfully, Congress is actually taking some action as part of their $908 billion economic relief proposal, or as I call it, the interim stimulus bill until the Biden's administration's here in January. What this bill is, it's sort of a stimulus bill that is, come together with a bipartisan group of senators in from the Republican Democrats trying to pass something given sort of the escalating issue with COVID around the country, more shutdowns, and the likely economic pain we may feel over the next few months, both as individuals and small businesses. So just to give you a bit of an overview of what's in the actual bill, I just summarized some stuff that will sort of help you have a look at this. So if you look at the overall bill, there's a whole bunch of stuff, to take care of states and rolling out more of the vaccine and assistance for student loans and housing assistance for the rental, U.S. Postal Service, childcare, a bunch of stuff, obviously different special interests and different aspects of how the pandemic has hit around the country. But the one that I'm focusing on here is probably the biggest one that folks here are looking for is around additional unemployment insurance, and this is really $180 billion of federal funding to extend existing programs and provide supplementary unemployment benefits. Now, all these items are still a proposal. It hasn't been, written into a bill, and it's not gone through Congress. But the hope is that we're having the Democrat leadership in the House back it. Obviously, there's some bipartisan senators and House members that have also backed on. The biggest stumbling block probably is going to be Mitch McConnell, the Senate Republican leader, who has to also endorse this bill or bring it to the floor for it to pass. President Trump has indicated that he would sign a bill if both parties can agree to it. But 908 billion is probably $1 billion lower than what the Democrats had sort of pre-election agreed to. It's $500 million more than what the Senate had initially agreed to. So there's still some work on compromising it, but I think the signs are pretty positive with the spike in COVID cases around the country and the shutdowns that are happening, that this will probably happen in the next week or two, or at least some version of it. So just to give you a recap on the specific aspects of, where the unemployment insurance is part of this overall stimulus bill. Like I said, it is $180 billion in the proposed bill. Now, this number obviously is subject to some changes based on what finally comes out, and you know, most likely it's going to include funding the big benefit programs, PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, which is really for freelancers and folks who would not have been able to get regular state insurance, and the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, which is an extension to existing state benefits. The main thing is these are federally funded, so the rules are determined by the Department of Labor. And I'll post some links below this that you can see a lot more information on these programs. But these sort of run out currently at the end of December. Millions of Americans are using these programs to stay above water. So it's important that federal funding is provided to keep these going because states don't have budgets or left to fund any more of their state benefits. On top of that, this program would almost also add supplementary UI benefits. So on top of, if you're getting PUA, PUC, regular state benefits, or other sort of state unemployments, you'll get the $300 payment on top of that. Think the lost wages assistance program that sort of finished back in September for 5 weeks or 6 weeks in some states. And again, I'll post some links below this article on that. But it'll probably work very similar to that. That had $100 minimum threshold that may be taken away this time around, but we'll see what happens with that. It'll likely be $300 retroactive to maybe September when the lost wages program expired, but it'll be on top of that. And this 300 number was something President Trump had signed by executive order from FEMA funding. This time, if it's federally funded, it should last for much longer and cover a lot of people. I think it'll be a mix between the lost wages program plus the original 600 federal pandemic unemployment compensation program. So it'll sort of have a mixture of both. But hopefully, this will be something the states can roll out pretty quickly, given that they just did the lost wages assistance for the same amount a few months ago. Again, I mentioned it'll be retroactive. probably to September, October. That's when the Lost Wages program finished, which will actually be pretty nice coming into Christmas. It'll be mean a pretty big lump sum if it's rolled out. So could almost be $4,000 to $5,000 if it's sort of enacted in the next few weeks, and then it gets paid end of December, early January. So that'll be a nice Christmas and New Year bonus if they're actually able to do that. And ultimately, I think the biggest thing is 20 million Americans are receiving jobless benefits under federal programs like PUA and PUC that do run out at the end of 2020. So even if you have a claim balance or if you have any weeks you haven't claimed, you'll lose access to those benefits at the end of December if no extension is passed. So it's getting pretty critical. I think congressional leaders recognize this and they need to act. The question is just agreeing to funding, and when politics gets across common sense, the average American doesn't always win. But I'm hoping that this time, despite several stalled attempts to pass unemployment and larger stimulus packages, we'll see some success this time around. But no, I'll keep posting updates and sharing updates as I hear them. But I think, more positive than I've been that an extension will pass. Hopefully, this was a quick update. It helped you catch up with all the news and noise out there. I'll post some links below this. Please leave a comment if you have any questions. And, like always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Keeps me going, keeps this channel going as well as I build it up. And you can always go to my main website, savingtoinvest.com, to get more specific articles. Thanks, and have a safe weekend, everyone. Bye.